Okay, okay.
And we are right now on the life changer workshops, right?
Life changer
Sure.
workshops. Just do a potch part.
Okay, we've started.
Yes. Okay. So, hey friends, it's exactly 444, and here we are with End the Stigma second episode. And I am along with Shilpa Menon and with Olivia, Ananya, Zoe. And we are about to begin with this beautiful episode where we'll be talking about the moments of hopelessness and how it opens up, towards light. A lot of people are coming on this series out of the closet, facing the world with whatever they face, the dis-ease, I would say, that they faced, with depression or anxiety, or the Down syndrome. And they're coming out with their stories, so that if you are at all in that particular moment when you don't know what to do, now from here on, and you watch this series, I'm sure you're going to understand that there is a possibility of recovery. In fact, there are so many possibilities for you out there. All you need to do is open up to light. So I'm so excited to be here with these two souls. We've already shared our stories, Shilpa, me, and we had two other great souls in the last series. You can keep watching End the Stigma for our stories as well. And of course, we've also had our brush with depression, and now we are seeing the daylight. We are kind of the bursts of, sunlight or sunshine, I would say. And so is Olivia. And we can't wait to hear from Olivia the story of, that she shares humbly with all of us, only with one intent in her mind, that she wants to bring the change that happened in her own life. When she could recover, she wants to spread that light to you. So, are you ready to be with us? If yes, join us. You can ask your questions. I'll be tuned in to answer whatever comes in. Over to you, Shilpa.
Thank you so much. I am just doing the watch party sharing also, so more and more people can view us. Olivia,
Yes.
thank you so much for being with us, for joining us. I'm actually not wanting to take much of the time, and I want to dive deeply. And we really feel honored because I've just known you for last exactly, it's almost been just a month, where we did our 30-day life challenge together. And that's how I started hearing you. And there was a moment where I understood you had a lovely story. Difficult, yes, for sure. So I don't want to just cover it up by calling it lovely, but it's an inspiring one. And yeah, I'm already, my heart is beating fast because I'm quite excited to listen to your story now. So, welcome. Uh, Thank you for joining Shrija and me. And let's just dive deeply into the space. Are we okay? Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Yes, of course. All
Great.
right. First of all, I'm sorry. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Uh, okay, so as you know, that the End the Stigma series is started because we want to highlight depression, anxiety, or even people who've reached almost till the end of the channel, tried to probably take their life and grace survive, so they have something more to do. And that's why we've gotten you on board as well. So I'm going to directly ask you that when did you realize that you have depression? What were your symptoms? Or did you even realize what you're going through existed? So I'm going to leave the whole thing to you now.
Sure. First of all, I'll start with thanking both of you for providing me with this platform to be opening up and giving all my experiences, what I have through my journey of life, and motivate other people so that they can leverage their life in a much fruitful way. Okay, because there is no end to life, it's always happening. So, having said that, yeah, depression is a very important disorder, I would say, in life. To be very honest, as a normal human beings, you will not be able to gauge as to when exactly depression, came into your life. How did it, induct you as a prey? Because for me, I remember last year, post that, it was just after my surgeries in 2018, and wherein me and my mother had a small fight, and I was asked to leave the house just 1 week after my uh, surgery. So That was a little kind of a traumatic phase for me because I had stitches all over my body and still I was asked to leave the house. So I didn't know where to go exactly. So after that, I started resuming work because people started giving me all kinds of advices that if you join work, if you resume a normal life, things will be okay. But deep down inside, I knew that, something is not okay. Even though I'm following a normal routine, I get up for work, I take bath, I eat, I prepare my food, I mop and sweep my house. But yet, indeed, that, that fear was always there. That something is not right. So I never had the chance of introspecting myself and asking myself what is not right. But days and days started passing over, and last year I started falling short of my memory. It was kind of a memory loss, I would say,
Hmm.
and it used to happen for fraction of seconds. Say, for example, I quote an example. I'm making a curry on the gas stove, and on the other hand, I'm preparing a tea, and I just happened to take the tea leaf, and I didn't know where to put it, whether I should put it in the curry or whether I have to prepare tea. That is just a fraction of second. Another symptom I got was when, excuse me, I was driving, and I know how to drive. It's been more than 5 years I'm driving. And suddenly I just, on the middle of the road, I just forget how do I drive? How do I maneuver my gear knobs? That was second.
Hmm.
And as the days passed over, especially this happened in my office because I think 80% of our time we spent in our office. So I started forgetting my passwords. Say, for example, if Monday I have reset my password, Tuesday when I go to work, I would just blank. So these were the symptoms which were very alarming for me, but I just thought just hota hai kind of thing. It
Hmm.
just happens. So because people, I think the surrounding, the support that we get from people, they are in the notion that it's just that you're thinking over, or you might be stressed out. That is the reason things are happening. But believe me, guys, depression when I fell prey over depression, I started realizing that I'm trying to be forgetful more. You know, Even at times, it used to happen that my cab is standing and I'm wearing the normal house slipper and I'm just boarding the cab. And then suddenly I realize, oh, I forgot to put on my shoes. These are very basic things which you start realizing yourself, and it's very alarming. Now, the focus goes here that people who are in a family, they have to be observant, first of all.
Hmm.
And moreover, I would like to highlight today that people, if they do not know anything about depression, they need to read out. They need to read out the
True.
information available on Google, visit a doctor, and find out as to what are the symptoms of depression. How can people, negotiate depression if
Yeah,
there
I
is
think
some symptom?
I would like to highlight this. It is so important that, yeah, one way is thanks to technology, we can read out online on internet to get a basic idea. But I like what you said, that it's so important even to visit a doctor, a counselor, a therapist to understand that what you're really going through, is it
Exactly.
so? And also the few highlights that you mentioned, that there was something you said very importantly, that there is this inner knowing that something is not right and we are trying to brush past that feeling, you know.
Exactly.
It's important to acknowledge that something is not okay. And of course, then you had series of symptoms of brain fog, memory loss. Yeah, so I wanted to highlight that it's important, apart from reading Google, it's also critically important to reach out to a specialist who understands that something is not right, you know. Yeah, please
And
continue.
here
Exactly.
I
Sorry,
would
yes.
also like to add on to Olivia what she said, that it is so difficult for her to explain it to regular people, people who are close to her, even they wouldn't understand it because
True.
probably they would, not know about depression, or they would just brush it under the carpet because they just don't want to face it, as I said. And they would give you all sorts of reasons, but they will not medically accept the fact that, yeah, this is depression.
Exactly.
True.
I completely agree to you, Shurja, because this is what exactly happened. Now, I would like to highlight here, I went into depression twice. One was in 2009 when
Hmm.
I was getting treated for my gender dysphoric thing in Jahangir Hospital. And this was the second time last year. which was very acute. So what happens is, what I would request the people is, or the family members, whosoever is present at that spur of time, that if you're not very kind enough to, be observant uh, for the symptoms available in the patient, if you cannot provide access, then please do not cut off the patient from getting them access to the therapist or the doctors.
Totally.
So
So
Because
beautiful.
last
beautiful.
year, I remember when things went out of my hands, which was in August. The first time I called is my father. He was in Bihar, and I called him, and I was crying. I was crying a lot. Now I'm a kind of a person who do not cry because I'm very strong. But that day I was just literally crying, and I just told my father that I do not want anything. I just want you and mom to be with me. That's it, nothing else. Okay. So unfortunately, he did not pay a heed to it, and then somebody advised me, "Why don't you seek a doctor?" And I was very reluctant. I was very hesitant that how can I go to a doctor? I'm normal. I'm fine.
Hmm.
But one fine day, I realized that no, I have to go to the doctor because they are the ones who will be able to rectify whether I'm literally into depression or not. So when I started going to the doctor the first day, the doctor did not do anything. It was a 2 hour session, and she started writing points by points, whatever I was explaining her right from my childhood.
Hmm.
Then she realized that, first of all, the major thing which impacted me was I stay alone.
Mm.
So that is one more, alarming thing, that you should not stay alone when you know that something is not right within you. You have to switch over to people. You have to start staying with your friends or colleagues, at least for some point of time, shorter period of time. But that's very imperative,
Mm.
because she started telling, when she heard that I was forgetting my passwords, and in fact I used to even not able to recall name of people from my office whom I'm meeting every day. So that is what she came up with. These are the symptoms which a normal human being will not accept it, first of all. And the kind of society we will live in, if a normal person, say, if one fine day I go to my parents or
Mm.
anyone, and I say that I want to go to the doctor, they will say, "Tum to theek ho, you're normal, what happened to you?" This is what the reaction comes, wherein
Hmm.
they should be coming ahead with me to the doctor and listening to what the doctor is saying, because I am as a patient there. Maybe I'm not in the sense that I'll be able to take whatever the doctor is telling me, the pros and cons, what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. But there
Yeah.
has to be someone with me who will be registering everything that the doctor is advising,
Hmm.
because that is
Yeah,
what I
Vidya,
noticed.
that's what has probably happened with most of us. The point is that, it is such a sublime disease, or what I would say, disease again, not disease. But, if anything is external, you have an abscess or you have something that is protruding out of your body, everybody's worried and they will take you out immediately. But they
Exactly.
don't get the hollowness that you feel within, the mental fog, as you said, the forgetfulness, the gloominess, or, sudden fears or palpitations. These are all internal, and only a person's going through would know what it is. And probably that generation just didn't know, because they had hardships, and they came through hardships, and they feel we are too lucky to have anything, like depression. I think that's also a bias. Unfortunately, that's a cognitive bias, I would say, that they have, that this is a privileged generation, they cannot have anything like this. We are the ones who did all the
Exactly.
hard work. So I
Also,
think that's
And
another reason. Yeah.
sorry.
Yes.
Also, this
Yes.
misunderstanding that because we are strong or one is strong, one can't cry. I mean,
Hmm.
exactly,
it's such a
very
deep
important.
conditioning that's been put into people. You can be strong and you can have emotions. You can cry. Depression is about different emotions. So
Yeah.
it's so important to acknowledge that it's all right to cry, and the fear or the stigma that I will be perceived as someone who's crying,
Hmm.
and therefore I
Exactly.
won't be strong anymore. and मैं इतने सालों से एक इमेज बना के
Hmm.
रखा है कि मैं बहुत कड़क हूँ, स्ट्रांग हूँ, अब क्या होगा मेरा, you know I
Yeah.
think that also needs to be it, people need to know, and we all need to understand that everybody cries. It's not
Hmm.
gender specific. It's not
Exactly.
quality specific. We just have emotions. We go through pain, and this is a churning journey that one is going through. It's very
Absolutely
important
agree.
to highlight
Yeah.
that. Um, I wanted to ask you one more thing, but you can add on. You mentioned that 2009 you realized there was a depression. When you realized, the doctor said this, the terminology used was gender dysphoria, right?
Hmm.
Yes.
Uh, I first heard this term from you itself a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Would you like to speak a little bit on that now or later? I leave that up to you. But
Sure.
I think that's very important for the audience to know. What do you mean by gender dysphoria? How did it really connect to your depression?
Exactly. Before that, I would just like to add what you said that about crying that you spoke about. Now, I'll give example of my house. What my parents or my relatives feel is that since I have a good job, I live in a good house, I have everything, money in the bank, I have car, I have a good life, a good society, good education, good work. You know, so मेरे में कमी क्या है life में? But that hollowness is persistent every time, no matter how abundant you are, you know. So
Hmm.
that thing needs to be changed. The perception needs to be changed. What people think like this, because to be very honest, when you have everything, still you feel that you have nothing. So
Hmm.
peace
Hmm.
is here, not amongst the lively things that we see around. When you have everything and we do not feel peace inside, that is when you feel very agitated, you feel that you're not accepted, and things follow and so on. Now, coming to gender dysphoria. Now, to be very honest, gender dysphoria is a terminology used for people who are not able to um, gauge their gender. They're not able to identify their gender. Say, for example,
Hmm.
I'll give my example. I was born premature in 7 months. Now, my
Hmm.
mother, when I was in her womb, she strongly wanted a girl child because she already had two boy child. So she wanted a girl child. Now, when I was born, I was in the incubator. I was very small, wrapped up in cotton. And my mother and everybody in the hospital thought that it's a girl child. That perception was already there. But later on, when I started growing up, I was always in salwar kurti most of the times till the time I reached out in like say fourth standard or fifth standard. But till then, I was always made to wear the girlish clothes, and I was always girlish by then. Even the kind of toys that was given to me, it was not at all boyish. No football, no guns. It was all kitchen sets.
Hmm.
So that time, I knew that I am not a boy. I knew that very well,
Hmm.
but how to express that I didn't know that. So it used to happen that when my mother was not there, I used to wear her saris, I used to wear her petticoat or 90 and look at myself in the mirror. This is who I am. Then one fine day I remember that somebody telling me, you're a guy, you cannot wear all these things, and I did not like that statement made by that person. And that created a ripple in my mind that I wanted to tell desperately to this to my parents that I am not a guy, mom. And 2017, when I went for my surgeries and to see the doctor, I found out that 70 to 80% hormones are female hormones, which
Hmm.
was which was shocking for me. And all these years I was living by itself. So that is what gender dysphoria is. You're not able to identify yourself. You're not able to identify your gender. If you're a guy, you feel like a girl. You are male, but you feel like a girl. So that is where the disparity happens,
Cross connection, so to say.
cross connection. So the only thing it does not go ahead and say that one fine day I just realized that I want to be a girl or I want to be a guy, and I walk into the doctor and the doctor performs surgery. No, it's a rigorous process that happens. First of all, you need to go to the psychiatrist, you need to go to the psychologist based upon the information that is being provided by which has to be truthful. Based on the information provided to the doctors, they will give a clean chit. Then I have to go
Hmm.
and the patient has to go to the urologist. They will be recommended. And then urologist will perform hormonal tests, whether there is any kind of hormonal imbalance. So in my case, when that hormonal tests happened in March 2017, and when the urologist found, then the only way out was to go through the rigorous surgeries, to be very honest. And these things needs to be channelized and observed when people are very young, because it's very easy for them to regularize themselves
Absolutely.
and go through the rigorous surgeries and be immune. And I started at the age of 33 or 34, I remember. So after that, after the urologist examined me, I was referred to Dr. Kaushik in Delhi. Now when I went to Dr. Kaushik, he did not give me only the good things about the surgery. Okay, he explained me both the pros and cons. But seeing my report, he said that the only way out is, if you want to live a happy, healthy life, okay, both physically and mentally, it's all about you should go for the surgeries to complete yourself as a girl, because 70% being a female hormones, I cannot inject male hormones to suppress those female hormones. So people, again, I say, people need to get knowledge first. What happens
True.
is, if you speak to people like I spoke in my house, I knew that the reaction will be very negative, it will be very doomed up, and we people will not accept it. But what I wanted is that at least find the information out, read my notes, get in sync with the doctors, how that information is legitimate, and then proceed further. Okay, because most of the time, the place where I belong to, and I'm not ashamed in saying this, is because I belong to Bihar. Still, people's mentality are not at par, I would say. People still think, "Are ye to log kya kahenge," kind of thing. It's a prestige issue more. You know,
Mm.
when people have to get out of the cocoon, it's not a prestige issue. Just believe a person might take end up his or her life one day. Because
Mm.
when I started facing the issues, I'm highlighting in since 2009, I started facing a lot of issues when I used to go to the malls. I didn't know which washroom to use, first of all, and how long can I hold my pee or my, whatever it is. I have a requirement. I could
Mm.
not go railway stations, airports, you know. So that is how my frustration level started developing up. So when it started developing, it was at a very early stage that I recognized myself that something is not right. Then I started consulting myself to a psychologist,
Mm.
and yeah, that is how it was. It was quite fruitful for them, and the urologist was also there, but they weren't so positive then in 2009 as they were in 2017 and 18.
So how did that nine
Mm.
years to a decade go for you?
Yeah.
And
Well, as I said, that I belong to conservative, I would say, conservative family, wherein these kind of thoughts are not at all welcome. My mother says, before the surgery, she used to say, "You're normal, तुमको कुछ नहीं हुआ है, दिमाग की फितूर है, दिमाग की बदमाशी है ये." But I could not understand it without even having knowledge. How can you even say all these things? So, since we come from a background wherein we are not supposed to back answer our parents, or we are not so open in our thought process, so I thought, let's shut the door. Let put a lock and key to my thoughts, and I will not open these things to anyone. But I forgot one thing, that nature has made me this way. It's not
Mm.
my fault at all. Okay,
Not at
so
all.
beautiful.
my body, when I go to certain places, my body will be responding, my mind will be responding as per the situation. So the
Mm.
same thing started happening when I used to travel. I knew there was a security check at the airport, so I was very afraid of that CISF guy, because when you go in front of him, he maybe that by my looks or by the way I used to move myself, he used to come to know that who I am, and he used to play with my body. I'm highlighting this. He used to play with
Mm.
my body, wherein it just take fraction of seconds to perform a security check. I was standing there at the boat for a minute, you know. So these
Mm.
things were very alarming, and then I thought that I have to take a decision. I just can't live like this, you know. Either it's a yes or a no, but I can't be midway, hanging midway. I cannot
Absolutely.
oscillate like this. So that was the time when I decided that let my mom retire first, let me settle her, okay, wherever she wants to settle, and then I'll take a decision for my life, irrespective whether my parents, the society, my brothers, or my relatives accept it or not. I will take a plunge in the ocean, and that is exactly what I did.
Proud of
And to
you,
be very
Divya.
honest, when I started this journey, yeah, I would like to confirm in 2017, I was not in depression, but yes, I tried hanging myself the first time. I literally thought that ending your life is much more easier than to live this life, because the kind of trauma I was going through every day, the cab driver used to stare at me, my colleagues used to stare at me, all these things
Hmm.
were building up in me. Those emotions were building up in me. And I was not able to vent it out because, as I said, a normal human being will not understand what we go through. Okay. And uh, the support from the family was not there. I didn't even have one friend whom I can at least shoulder upon and tell my ordeal. It was I would say, the bizarre adversity I was going through. you know and that was a time when one day I was alone in the house again, and I realized that, let's end up this life. It's just hopeless. Okay, there's no hope left. So I tried hanging myself, but unfortunately, I could not do that. And I'm very thankful to God for saving my life that day. And after that, I spoke to my dad straight away after that incident, and I told him this is what I'm going to do, and I have determined myself that this is how I will be in my life. Initially, he responded very well the same day, but next day he just messaged me stating that, we are already retired citizens, so just think about how our retirement life would be. Now, that was a time when I realized one thing, that I need to be self centered. It's okay to be self centered. It's okay to think about yourself. Because I have approached different sections of society, different levels of hierarchy in my life, and I have explained them enough to tell them what I'm feeling. Now, when my father told me this, I was just looking at him and I said that, he has lived his life 60 years and he still wants to live his life, which is a good thing. But what about your child who's just 30? I have 30 years to go, which is long. And those created a ripple in my mind, and I started gathering all the information I could. And in 2015, I would like to mention 2015 or 16, I met this beautiful, charming lady, Ghazal Dhaliwal. I just had a glimpse of her in one of the PhD parties in Mumbai. And somebody told me that she is a trans woman. Now, I did not know this terminology as well. What's a trans woman? Because for
Hmm.
me, she was a complete woman, a fragile, thin looking girl, beautiful and gorgeous. And she just passed by and she introduced herself as Ghazal. And somebody told me that she has done her surgeries way back in 2010. And believe me, when I saw her, I told to myself, when this can happen to her, I think magic can happen every time. It's just that you have to be deterrent and determined of what you think you are. You are not, you should not give explanations unnecessarily to the world or family or to anybody. You have to keep yourself happy. So that was the time when I
If
decided.
you don't accept your identity, nobody else will.
Exactly. And I always say that love
And I love
yourself.
that. I loved when you said that magic will happen to people who are
Yeah,
determined, determined, and
because
want to
Yeah,
do something
these
to
are
their life.
these
It's
are
so
important
powerful.
things.
And the second turning point, so to say, here you mentioned that you gave up, and suddenly that, because I remember about a couple of minutes ago you mentioned that you were going to wait for your mom to retire, so you wanted to put others
Hmm.
first, you know,
Yeah.
exactly.
and the agony built up, and suddenly there was this flip moment which said, sure, even now they are thinking about themselves. When am I going to think about I, me, myself? And of course, this
Exactly.
is not coming from a selfish space, it's coming from a self love space that I got to
Hmm.
be me. I am struggling, and I need to find my way
And
out.
imagine, Shilpa, 3 decades of not knowing your identity, not able
Yeah,
to, she's a person searching for her identity in the world. I mean, how
precisely.
much can a person take, right? So, yes,
It's
I,
commendable that in spite of such a difficult space, you could pull
yes,
through for 3 decades. I
three
mean,
decades.
kudos,
I
hats
mean,
off.
it was very tough. I
Definitely.
would like to highlight here is because, I belong to the LGBT community. Now, in LGBT, a guy who represents himself as a gay, he knows that he's a gay. A
Right.
lesbian
Hmm.
will know that she's a lesbian.
Hmm.
A trans woman will know that she's a trans woman. Now, we people, we do not know where to go. Whether we are guy, we are a girl,
Hmm.
whether we are gays, we don't know anything about ourselves. So that gives a very bad experience in life, to be very honest, and that creates ripples a lot because uh, to be very honest, whosoever I explain my situation, uh, I have found out one thing in life: people, more than listening and observing and actively participating in communication, they are more like giving advices. They just need that stop wherein they can just jump over to advices. Acha ye mat karo, wo karo, aisa karo, waisa.
Olivia, most of the people in our cases, in depression cases, in cases where people don't know what to do, are like bystanders. Standards, they will say कि यार ये उसको ऐसे खेलना चाहिए, उसको ऐसे खेलना चाहिए. They're not players. They will not come to the ground and play. So I really have unfortunately met so many such people who don't want to accept, they don't want to play from the front. They would just stand there and give their advice. So this is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, people do try to play, behind the curtain. I don't know why they are reluctant in coming forward and saying that, "See, I'm supporting her, I'm supporting him."
Hmm. Yeah.
That is what is happening in the society. So, having said that, yeah, it was very difficult moment for me to, get into depression, but all the more it was difficult to get out of it.
Hmm.
That was something which was very, very challenging, to be, trust me, because once you get into depression, your many things, I mean, it depends upon person to person. For me, it was loss of appetite, mood
Hmm.
swings. Since I was taking hormonal pills,
Hmm.
I could not understand as to mere sath hi aisa kyun. I was victimizing myself. I was self pitying myself more. You know,
Hmm.
wherein I just lost hope, and I forgot that after every tunnel, as Shilpa said, there is a light. I had to focus on that light. So my focus was not there. So when 2017, it was a beautiful conversation. And I would like to mention here, since I'm alive, I want people from my company to know that company was beautiful, awesome. Because the HR, I like to name her Sangeeta Sabnis, she took the pain of even conversing with my doctor. Why? Because she wanted to know, as an organization, how can we be sensitive, compassionate, and kind towards gender dysphoric kids? What kind
Wow.
of level of comfort we can provide them? So that company
Really
gave me
like to
everything.
if you can name your company, because this is hats off to such companies, hats off to
Exactly.
such people. Yes.
Exactly. It's called All Scripts. And when I realized that I have to go to seek a doctor, the first thing I did was I knew that many people who are sitting with me, they might not like the way, uh, not like the thought process from it came up. So they might not behave the same way as they are after knowing this. So I walked to the HR, VP HR. Her name is Matilda Charles. I directly spoke to her, "Ma'am, this is what it is. This is who I am. And I'm a gender dysphoric kid. So do I need to resign?" She was so kind enough to tell me that, no, you don't have to. It's just a general, unlike any other person, you're just marrying and you're changing your name and your identity. That's it. You don't have to resign. So you tell me what as an organization we can do for you. I'll tell my
Wow.
HR team to provide all the
Yes,
assistance that we
correct.
can.
Seriously, I
It
would
is
like
very
to.
important.
I
Yes,
would
Shrija, please
seriously like
continue.
to let people know who are watching that I have seen companies where they do not give employment to even women. They are looking at even everything is bifurcated. They divide communities. They divide so many things. They have so many divides in their head. Wherein Allscripts went ahead, gave her a chance where she was also looking for her identity. She was trying to belongingness is
A
what everybody
belonging.
wants. Yeah, is what everyone wants, and that is what women wanted, and now we are all wanting. LGBT community is wanting. So I think this is
Exactly.
so brilliant. I think a brilliant move by your company and your head.
And even by
Not
this lady, Matilda, who
Yes.
said, okay, it's just, I mean, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just a shift in the space. You're still an employee.
exactly.
It is so important for her to make, it was a very welcoming feeling, that
Exactly.
Yeah.
She made me
Yeah.
much more
just like
comfortable
getting
that I was.
married. I mean, there's nothing wrong with you, आप operation करा के आ रहे हो, आप ठीक हो रहे हो. Uh, it's amazing. You know?
And to
Amazing.
add on that, I would like to share because I'm so thrilled to share this experience. In 2018 March, I was told to prepare a presentation on gender dysphoric. Why? Because I was supposed to be allowed to use the ladies' washroom, and the female employee should not be shocked looking at me. You know, and they wanted me to come up with this presentation, which was shared with most other ladies employees in various sessions, and they were made aware this is one of the employees that we have, and unlike her we can have many more employees like these. Please be sensitive to her, you know.
Please,
So
HR, whoever is listening, organizations, this is a very powerful move to make. Sensitize
Absolutely.
people, do the workshops, and create a new space for everyone. Make it a
Yes.
new normal, you know? It's
Yeah.
powerful. It's very powerful solution. Kudos.
and everyone was very warm with me. I mean, my director, my manager, my HR, everyone, even the facility team, they used to because of the surgery I was not able to walk. So the cab, there were amendments in the pickup and drop, where I have used to be pick up, where I could be dropped, I was given security. All these things really was an enthralling experience with Allscripts, and today I'm looking forward to join back again, to that organization.
Mm.
That was one of the best organizations I've worked with. So having said that, these things, added a kind of a thrill in me in 2017 after
And a lot
meeting
of
with
hope, I'm sure. A lot of hope.
lot of hope, because
Yeah.
before going to the doctor, I was very apprehensive. So, chalo, one thing was sure that, I don't have to resign, so I will be accepted. So after that, I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me, first of all, when they looked at me, they were very stunned that the psychologist said, "Aapko karani hai surgery?" Because I was looking very different from who I was, and I remember that I was told to come for a review after 6 months. It was a challenge because Dr. Kaushik, who performed surgery on me, he did tell me that not every person, faces success when you're on hormonal therapy for 1 or 2 years. Okay,
Hmm.
but we want to see how it works for you. So I was on an injections, which was very painful, and hormonal pills, which I had to take for 6 months. And after 6 months, my entire look, my body, everything changed drastically, you know. And the added advantage, what happened for me was, as per Dr. Kaushik, that my facial, structure was very feminine. So they do
Hmm.
not have to work more on the kind of facial feminization surgery like jawline and your, forehead and your rhinoplasty. I don't have to go for those painful surgeries. So when I went in September, I was applauded so much by the psychiatrists and psychologists because it was again a session with them, okay, whether I'm on the same page or not. And then the surgery was supposed to happen the next year. So it
Hmm.
was quite fruitful. Everything was very pleasant.
So, how do you feel now? Tell me. As you went, you took the pain to go through the tunnel towards the light. What is it that you feel now? We can see the beauty that you are, Olivia. Now,
Thank
Beautiful.
please
you.
tell us what is it, the feeling that you get, when you have done that fight for yourself, for your identity in the world, and how is it?
Well,
I
to
want
be
to
a
ask you
woman,
another question.
Yes,
Is that all
intellectually.
right, Shrija? Can I add on?
Yes, absolutely. Please.
Yeah, thank you. So the fact that there was hope and you had support system now that was created, I'm guessing that you were now riding the surf in a peaceful journey. Or did you ever
Hmm.
dip down? Did you go down the valley, or this
I
was
did.
it? You did.
I did. No, I did.
Okay.
Because I'll answer your question in a bit, Shrija.
Yes.
So let
Yeah.
me add to the journey. So September, when I was reviewed, I was so thrilled because my face changed completely and your body changes completely due to the hormonal pills and injections. And the doctor was very positive. Next year, after 9 months, we will be performing surgery on you. And
Yes.
during this time, I always pray to God that at least my family should be in support with me, irrespective whatever they think, you know. But because doctor had told me that somebody has to be there with you. I
Hmm.
mean, surgery is important, but post-surgery care is equally important because it's a big surgery. I mean,
Hmm.
if even a bit goes wrong in this surgery, in this journey, it's irreversible. You cannot reverse it. And I was
Hmm.
super scared as well, you know. So every day I used to pray to God that please change my thoughts of my parents, make them feel that yes, they have a third child who is suffering so much, they should accept it. But unfortunately, that did not happen, you know, due to the social stigma, I would say. And October, when I went for the surgery all alone before going to the surgery, uh, I was strong enough because I had to be strong enough because my doctor told me that please have that mental balance with you when you're carrying yourself to Delhi because even if you have anxiety or any kind of hormonal imbalance, surgery will not be apt. It will not be successful. Okay, so I had to be strong enough. So I just called my father and I just told him that I'm going for the surgery. He said just okay. I called my mother and I told that I'm going for the surgery. My mother said okay, and they just kept the phone. So I mean, I felt a little sad, but I just want to tell all those people who are watching this, who are unlike me, who are going through the same emotions, do not be dependent on anyone. Okay, you are a single individual. Think yourself as a whole identity in this universe. You are your world. I call myself my family. I call myself my relative, my friend. Everything I am in myself. This is who you are. Because understand one thing, nobody will be accepting you the way you are accepting yourself. So please come out of that well. That one fine day magic will happen. Yes, magic does happen, but if people are so adamant in their mental status that they're not going to accept the child the way it is, things will not change. You can only give one try, two tries, or three tries, not more than that. So stop convincing people. Convince yourself first. That is very important. So I just bought the flight and then I went. And my doctor said that you have to come as Olivia, don't come as Nitesh. My old name was Nitesh. So I was very excited. When I landed at the airport, the way I was dressed up and everything, I was really getting madam, madam, madam. Everywhere I could hear that sound, madam. So I was on cloud nine before transition. And when I went there, I had my formalities done. So Saturday, my surgery was supposed to happen. So I went Thursday evening. So Friday was the time wherein the patients are given one day to just entertain yourself, eat whatever you like, because for the next couple of days you're not eating anything, and entertain yourself with whatever you can. Watch movies, go around, shop around. And I remember that first day, it's still scary. Surgery is scary. So I see two North Indian nurses coming and, talking to me. And they were just talking me and taking my stress out. And I remember one big injection put up here, Friday night. And after 12 o'clock, after 10 o'clock, I was not supposed to eat anything. Okay. So 6 o'clock Saturday, they told me we will be waking you up. So sleep very well. And unfortunately, I could not sleep because in the clinic, I could not, because I'm a very emotional person, and I can't hide my emotions. So I could see there is somebody or the other with one or the other patient. I was the only person alone in my bed. So that kind of was giving me a kind of a, you know, what I can
Downer.
say is down in my mind that I'm not even having a single person with me. So what will happen after surgery? I was tense more about it. So next day when they came over 8:45, my surgery was supposed to start, and I remember when I was entering the operation theater, I was laughing aloud, and I didn't know because my parents were not aware which clinic I have gone, which doctor is performing surgery, and it was a moment of fear at that point of time. What if they take out my kidney and they sell it, because I've not met the doctor before. What if I'm being sold out to the prostitution racket? What will happen? All these things were in my mind. So my BP went very high just before the surgery. So they gave me 15 minutes or 20 minutes of time, and by that time people spoke to me. They said nothing happened, and all I remember is somebody putting oxygen mask over my face and giving me anesthesia. And I got up. My surgery got over at somewhere around 12:30 or 12:45 after 4 hours, the first surgery. And I remember I was just sleeping on the bed, and it was very painful. When I got up, I couldn't even just do this way. My shoulders were blocked. My chest area, this area was blocked because I had stitches. This area had stitches here, here, and here. And I had a bell with me. I called the nurses. So two nurses lifted me up, and I said that I'm very hungry. I'm not eaten so long. They said that you're only going to get food through the IV, you know. And I
Mm.
could see around people, and everybody's giving me a glimpse like this, I'm okay kind of a thing. So I think family is not about, that time I realized family is not about your blood relations. Family is about whoever is taking care of you. Because
Very
before I was
powerful.
signing that docket, there's a huge docket which I had to sign a disclaimer that if anything happens to me during the surgery, the hospital or the management is not responsible. And whosoever is my local guardian will be intimated, and by whatever the last rituals should be done. So I didn't know whose name to write. So there was one lady who walked in. She was a staff nurse there from Northeast, and she said that Olivia, I'll be signing up for you. So don't worry. If anything happens, God forbid, I will make sure that your last ritual is performed very well. You know, so this was a family, a short family which I gained after my surgery. They were looking after me very well, and they were talking to me. In fact, for them as well, at the age of 34, it was a kind of a miracle for them, because most of the patients who were coming to Dr. Kaushik for the surgeries, they were 20 in their 20s, in their 16, 70s. I was the only person who was at 34. And yeah, there were people who came at the age of 54 as well. There was a
Mm.
person who was operated after age of 65 as well.
My
You
Wow.
know,
goodness.
yeah, there was a gentleman. I don't remember her name. She has beautifully transformed. So she married. She had a wife and two kids, and she gave all the property to her family. And she came all over to fulfill her dream to be as a woman.
Wow.
So that was kind of inspiring for me. Oh my goodness, look at this person. He has done everything for his family. And now he comes over to fulfill his dreams. And now she's a beautiful woman. So every year she comes to meet the doctor. She's very fond of Kanjivaram and Banarsi saris. So she shops from Delhi and she go back to UK. So that was all the more inspiring for me, you know. And at the same time, I would like to mention, I hope that lady is watching. Her name is Jennifer. She was very pretty looking girl. I think I have shared the photograph with Shilpa.
Hmm.
And she came here for her vaginoplasty surgery. And damn, when I looked at her, she was from US, California, and she was a model. And her background grows like her mother was in Surrey, a small town in Canada, and she was there, and she has two trans children, both beautifully transformed into a girl child. So when I met Jennifer and when I saw her, she started her transition during the age of 16. Okay, and her voice was very beautiful. She didn't have husky voice as I have, and her presentation, her hair, her texture of the skin, everything was superb, you know. And that again gave me a kick that, again a magic happened. I saw magic in front of my eyes.
Mm.
So not only I saw a transition from male to female, I saw a beautiful transition from a female to male, which is again very complex.
Yeah.
There were one girl who ran away from Bangladesh with her partner, and very soft spoken. And I could see that girl that she wanted to be a guy since her childhood, but since she was from a different family altogether, very orthodox, she could not tell it to her parents, but she had to run away from Bangladesh to fulfill her dreams. So that transition which happened, I was really carried away by the way people are, accepting the things about people, and they are so compassionate about people. They are so kind to take care even after surgery. So that was my whole journey all about, and I think. Yeah, I was only climbing up and up and up, but I didn't know that as soon as you reach up, you have to sustain that level of satisfaction. But I didn't know that I will be dropped again once again last year, and I will again slip into depression, which unfortunately it was not related to my being gender dysphoric, but there was, yes, other issues which was cropping in the house, in my personal life, in my professional life, which added a kind of a fire to my depression last year.
Mm.
So when I went ahead to meet the doctor, and when she told that this is where I'm standing, so she told me one thing, that on a normal human being, the stress level is anywhere between 30 to 35%. So when I was, you know, uh, diagnosed with depression, my stress level were more than 87%. So there's a huge difference between a normal person and me. And what happens is, she also told me stress, depression does not only kicks you or provokes you to take your life away. Sometimes it does happen that you will have a very bad headache. And since I'm a migraine patient, I know that you'll have a severe headache, and you can also have brain hemorrhage as well. You know, because when you have high BP, people know what happens. The circulation does not happen very properly. That is supposed to happen. So these are the things which was very, I would say, aghast. And I just thought that no, I have to take care of myself. But nevertheless, I was trying to cope up since January last year, and September I slipped into depression. So one complete month I was into depression. Now there, my doctor told me that what I can also do is, I should go to a rejuvenation center, you know, that rehabilitation center. That's a must. Okay, there are a lot of rehabilitation centers in Pune or in India where one needs to take admission for at least a month or 2 months, wherein your entire stress, your entire whatever is there in your body, that needs to be vented out,
Hmm.
either through talks or through exercises. And when you are with the same kind of people, you start reacting the same way.
Hmm.
But what happens to
Interesting.
us is, we think rehabilitation center. No, no, I'm not an addict. I'm not a maniac that I'll go to these centers. This is what happened with us. But I want to
Hmm.
address those people who are even in the first phase of the depression, because depression happens in phases. Please seek a doctor, and please go to a rehabilitation center if it's required. That's a must. You can take a break from your work. You can take a break from your normal routine work, but believe me,
Hmm.
once your life is in a turmoil, once your life is gone, your life is gone. Those moments are gone, those times are gone. You cannot rewind it. It's one life. So we
So
Yeah,
there
need
was
to
a
life.
stigma around going to a rehabilitation center for you to acclimatize your emotions.
Hmm.
exactly.
So that
So I
needs to
think that
be
is very
ended.
important. Yes, that is very important. I should have taken, because as I said, the last year in August, I spoke to my father that I want a break for 6 months. But my father did not realize how critical I am. You know, in fact, I feel that, when you have a external wound, you can plaster it to yourself, you can apply some medicines, but internally, you do not know how to medicate it. You do not
Yeah.
know at all. Many a times it does happen, even saying by the doctors, prescriptions given by the doctor, the medicines, they do not help you. And that did help me to a certain extent, but to a certain extent, it did not happen.
No, of course, rehabilitation center changes your lifestyle, detoxifies you. There's a lot of science behind it, and I think it's really needed when it's needed for the alignment.
And I think in today's world, with so much of stress level and everybody in a rat
Hmm.
race, everybody should go to a rehabilitation center at least for 10 days,
Absolutely.
in a
Yeah.
year at least, you know, because everybody needs their me too time, that they need to vent out things. You need to speak up. If you're going to keep it within yourself, you are going to burst one day like an atom bomb. And
Hmm.
nobody can save yourself except yourself.
Hmm.
Very
That is very
beautiful.
important.
It's
So,
important to take your time out for your own journey,
on well-being,
Hmm.
yes,
Yeah.
very important,
Detox,
because
whatever,
September, I remember 30 days I could not go to the office. 1 month, I knew there are kind of expectations from my office. My manager expects me, but I knew that I'm facing something which is very critical. Okay, and I think Shrija is gone here.
Yeah, yeah. Shrija, I hope she comes back.
Okay,
Uh, the internet or
so
something must have happened. She'll come back.
okay. So 30 days I did not go to the office. Of course, the implications were finances, implication was their financial. But you knew somewhere down the line that if I am good, if I'm doing well in my life, those things will be taken care of. It will be
Hmm.
taken a little late, but it will be taken care of. I knew that. But as I said, I come from a place wherein people are not so kind enough to get this thing into their head that health is wealth. You know, यहाँ पर ऐसी चीजें होती हैं जहाँ आप सब कुछ टेक ओवर कर लो, अच्छे से केयर कर लो, घर को कर लो, यू टेक ओवर योर कार, यू टेक ओवर केयर ऑफ योर मदर, योर फैमिली, एवरीवन. अगर आपने
Mm-hmm.
अपने लिए कुछ नहीं किया, दैट इज ओके, विच इज नॉट ओके एट ऑल. First of all, if you are firm, if you are determined to take care of yourself, then you can take care of the others and your
If you're
responsibility.
determined, yes. If you're determined, you will.
Yeah.
True.
So I think October onwards, I started going to work. October second week, somehow I just wrapped up myself. I said that I cannot, go ahead and I have to do justice to my salary. I have to go to the office, and I was not liking sitting in the house, to be very honest. And that is what my doctor also said. But I would like to highlight here what used to happen with me. Say, for example, a cab has come and I'm already, ready to go to the office. My iCard is hanging here. Within 5 minutes, my hands started sweating. I used to pant. I started getting panic attacks. You know, just because I could not face. I had that crowd phobia. I cannot face the people in the office.
Right. She just
So
come back.
okay, so that is how it was, and I could not realize that that is termed as a panic attack because in my entire life I
Hmm.
never faced panic attack.
So
So
sweaty
I got
palms,
sweaty
sweaty
palms. I was
palms.
panting. I was sweating all over my body. Even the fan was on, and I was stammering a lot. I could not speak, and that is when my doctor said that you do one thing. If you can take medication, because I did not start my medications because the pills were very very. September I took medications, but I stopped it. So
Hmm.
I'll come back to that as well. So what had happened was my doctor said that first of all, start taking medications on a regular basis. Even though you feel that you're all right, your body is not all right from inside. That needs uh, kind of vitamins or whatever healthy food is required, which you are not able to give it to yourself. So that will happen through medicines. Your mind has to be sound because you're not incapable of putting yourself in a very sound mind. So I didn't know how to explain it to my manager because my manager might have thought that, I'm just making excuses not to go to office. And I'm a kind
Why
of a
would you say
person
that? Why would you say that somebody's going to think like that? Is it
because,
because of lack of awareness, or
yes,
is it
yes,
our
because
own fear? What is it? What makes you
not,
say that?
not fear, though he was very supportive over the call. But later on, I realized that people were not aware of the things because, you can make out by the tone you're being spoken with, you
True.
know, you can understand that the person did not like that you are not coming to office. Okay. But I knew for sure that I cannot go ahead and do injustice to my work because my work was related to hospitals, related to healthcare. So I
Hmm.
cannot play with anything there on the system. So that was only my point. And believe me, to be very honest, when that started happening, my mother was not there. So I would like to say, whenever today I have realized one thing that I spoke yesterday about, that I've realized that being away from toxic people is very important. So whenever I'm alone, I feel empowered, to be very honest. And when my mother, sometimes when she comes, she is from the old school of thought. I feel that, we have a lot of disparity in our thoughts. We do not come to a same conclusion, or we're not on the same page. So having said that, when she came last year, we started having heated arguments over uh, me being. Because I cannot defame her on this talk, but I would like to say the things which was she was telling to me, that was not supposed to be told to an adult person who is more than 30 years of age. And this is not by choice. First of all, being gender dysphoric is not by choice. It's a biological need that I had to fulfill myself. It's a
Hmm.
biological need. So she did not understand that. And 8th of November, unfortunately, I was just sitting and I was very angry. So I'm a kind of a person, if I'm very angry on something or about some issues, I just take out my car and I just drive. I listen to old songs because I believe that you need to have substitutes for your anger management. Okay, fine. If you angry is okay, be angry, it's okay. But what after that? How you are going to mellow down yourself? That is very important, which people have to learn. because you know that you cannot change the situation of your house, you cannot change your parents, you cannot change the surroundings, but what you can do is you can be at peace yourself. So how you're going to do
True.
that? That is more important. Okay. So that is what I feel that people should inculcate in yourself, and I believe that that is very important. And coming back to the point wherein I said that about the medicine treatment, so my doctor gave me a dose of 3 months. Okay, September, October, November. Now, when I started, because I was a insomniac patient as well, because for 3 to 4 days consecutively, I could not sleep.
Hmm.
So I was given pills to mellow myself down and to have good sleep. And due to those sleeps, she said that when I get up, I will be like intoxicated person. Okay. So again, for that, there was another medicine. So I was consuming a lot of medicines, but that was required to balance my emotions within. So what I did was mistake which I did was in October when I started going to office, I thought that I'm normal now. मैं अच्छी हो गई हूँ. I'm absolutely fine. I don't require medicines now. I put that in corner.
So you stopped your own medication. You became your
Medication.
own doctor,
Yes.
which the
So that
doctor had
is
not asked you to quit,
no.
and you were
Doctor
having
told me for
panic
3.
attacks.
Yes.
Okay.
Doctor told me for 3 months you need to be on medication, and then after that I will be reviewed.
Hmm.
Okay, because a psychiatrist can go ahead and she has parameters on she which she can judge me whether what is my mental status.
True.
So that is the mistake which I did. And when I stopped taking the pills, then I started having just 5 minutes before I have to board the cab. I started panting and all. Though I did inform my manager about it. But as I said, to answer your question as to why I think my manager did not like me not coming or used to think that I'm making excuses, is because it never came from his part, even in a form of a sentence that I know what you're going through. Take care of yourself. We will take care of the work. Make sure that you are hale and hearty when you come over. In every message, whatever I used to describe in him in a very detailed way, he used to write okay. He used to write okay. Okay. So I think that is also very important. But when somebody is informing you about your mental illness or about your uh, any kind of illness, please study. Please make sure that you gather the reports. Please talk to the doctor of the patient at least. You know, just don't assume. That is very
True.
important.
So
So 8th
important.
of November, what happened was it was a very big. I mean, I was literally plundered by my mother that day. Verbal loot happened, and I could not believe that this happened to me in my own house. And um, and I'm not ashamed of sharing my experiences because it's an open forum and I would like to share this. I just thought of teaching my mother a lesson. I thought that I'll scare her. How can I scare her? I thought that I'll just consume 1 or 2 pills and I'll sleep till the next day evening, and when I'll not open the door, so she will be scared, so my duty is done. But when I went upstairs, I remember, I would like to mention this thing. I was always tagged as an hijra by my brother, my own middle brother. Today, I don't think what he will be thinking alike. I'm not concerned about it. But this is not a kind of a terminology that is supposed to be used as an abuse. Uh, it is supposed to be used as a gali for anyone. Even eunuchs are people, even they are
Hmm.
suffering. They are also suffering every day to come to normalize their lives. You cannot call me a hijra, first of all. When I told this to my mother, and my mother is ठीक है ना बोला तो बोला. So there was the kind of biasness which I could see.
Sorry, Shrija, we can't hear you. It's on mute.
Yeah,
No,
no, we can't hear you.
no. Okay, cool, cool.
So that is what had happened, and I could see that biasness since they are boys, they're normal boys. So that is the kind of I would say, uh, how do I term it as, the kind of attention they could have. But me being a gender dysphoric kid, this is how I was treated in the house. And that was a time when I stopped talking to him at all. And yeah, I'm not talking to him till date. But I could not understand one thing, that you, first of all, as I said, you need to gain knowledge about various things in life. If you're not aware about it, please do not assume about things. Okay, LGBT community is a host, way long, is a long, vast community. You need to know what a different section of people there are. Okay, not everybody is responding in the same way, not everybody is living in the same way. But that did not happen to me. Moreover, the kind of though I mentioned that Oscars was a very good is a very good organization, but I was facing a lot of traumatic experience in my office. I mean, somebody will be though I had told my manager that people should call me Olivia, but some guys used to call me by my old name. And when I used to tell them that this is not you're supposed to tell me, then they will come and say that first get your details get changed in the PAN card and officially, and then we will call you like that. So, and educated guys, they are talking to me in this sense. So I could not understand as to whom to go ahead and approach and where to approach, because I did not wanted to take a drastic step to so that somebody's job is gone for a toss. So that is what happened. And then what happened that day on 8th of November, that I started writing about my story, about me being a trans woman, how my journey came across. And there was a whole lot of questions which I asked my father, which I asked my mother as a parent. Okay. Because I remember I asked my father one day that when you didn't you plan kids when you were planning to call me, uh, you know, uh, in this world. So my father said that उस जमाने में ऐसा नहीं चलता था, kind of stuffs. But I remember that when I took the step on 8th of July, nobody was there to even talk to me. So I knew that even if not there tomorrow, I wanted the society to be asked these questions. What should we do as trans women? What should the LGBT community do? Should we just go ourselves and hang ourselves, eat poison, and end our lives? Is this is what we are for?
So beautiful. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All I
Yes.
wanted to say is that what you're raising is it's such an important question for people to listen to. When you can call a rose, you can call a lotus, you can say the differences, they're different flowers, they're different fruits. Why can't different creatures be accepted, born the way they're born? Why can't we just take them in like this? And you're raising this very beautiful question because people who give us names, labels, or people who give any community, be it women, trans women, or any community, if they're calling names to people or they're giving labels, I really feel pity. I pity such people and such mentalities. What is the point of education if you don't have, an open mind to accept everybody under the same sun? When God can give birth to so many different creatures,
And
so
to
many
be very
different
honest,
people. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it's 8th of November when I have noticed one thing that when people are not able to go ahead and uh, put you down or demean you by the talks, only one thing is left for them is your character. you know so I had a
Yeah.
humongous character assassination that day, and that happened with my mother. And I would like to tell this is because it's not about defaming someone, but it was not supposed to happen like that. You
You're just
need to
stating the
understand
facts.
your child.
Yes,
You're
that's
stating
true.
the facts.
Yes.
Yeah, because as I said, that there are so many people in this world who are ending their life in India. Gender dysphoric kids are ending their life just because of the parents. Why? I feel that if you cannot raise your child as a normal human being, please put them into a orphanage. They will be happier there. At least this kind of trauma,
Absolutely.
mental illness will not be there in children. But if you are getting a child into this world, make sure that you treat them with dignity, with respect. Because if you do not respect them, the world will not respect them. So where is the child going then? Whose door should they knock? you know so that day what happened is I just ventured in my room, and I was just writing my societal note, which was a thick booklet. And most of the questions were from the being a gender dysphoric. Why was I abandoned like this? Because I always, since I'm opening up today, I will tell this, that since my childhood, since the time I have grown up, I have always felt that I'm a kind of a child who has been, brought up from some kind of an orphanage, or was I might have been lying on the street and my mother got pitied and she took over. I could not feel that kind of a comfort level in my own house. If my brother is calling me names and he's not even thinking what the implication will be.
Yeah.
Today, he's a father of a child. So you need to think what will happen if your child is going through the same ordeal in the school.
Mm.
You know, because in the school what used to happen with me is uh, मैं बताना चाहती हूँ because बहुत लोगों के साथ ऐसा होता है. School में I used to be called a eunuch, 50-50, hermaphrodite. Some guy will be pinching me on my waist, somebody will be pinching me on my butt, somebody will be doing me this, and somebody will be calling me that you look very voluptuous. These are not the terms I'm to be used when I'm in school. I'm going there for studying. So understand the plight of a child when you're being given so many of taglines. How would you even concentrate on studies?
And those were the
And
times you
I
could not tell anybody anything, Olivia. Were you
nothing
able to come and share with someone?
exactly. And when you come home, there is again a sense of a discomfort in your home. You are not again open up to your parents. So that kept on, increasing me. And on top of that, the added thing was I was molested by people. You know, so that added a fuel again. And when these molestations used to happen, I used to tell that I'll be approaching to my father, I'll be approaching to my mother. But since I knew that they do not have that kind of compassion to listen, even what happened. Because in 2009, when I was 26 years of age, so that time, Nikhil Sadanand is the name of the person. I will name him. He's a true gentleman. When he came to know this is what my problem is, he directly told me, "Don't worry about holidays or leaves. Just pack your bags tomorrow and Kalki train. So you go home, tell it to your parents. Your parents has the right to know this. This is how you're suffering." So when I went to tell my father and mother about my ordeal, the first reaction my mother gave was that that guy cannot molest you because he was a studious person. He was a gold medalist from Delhi University. And I just looked at my mother and I was like, what is that connection to do with my molestation? He molested, that's a fact. A class one child gets molested for 6 or 7 months continuously. That's not a joke. Yet I had to
Absolutely.
keep quiet. Now, today, with so much of social media, so much of serials coming in like Crime Patrol and all, people are aware that yes, even irrespective whether it is a boy child or a girl child,
And abuse
people
is an abuse and
are
incest
misused.
is an
Abuses are
incest.
happening,
Yes.
Yes.
you know. So that is the awareness even parents should have. And
True.
agar if a child is being abused, don't demean that child. Uski galti nahi hai. It's not his fault.
Not
Go
at
and
all.
catch that
Never
culprit.
is.
Catch that
Never
culprit.
is. Yeah,
But
true.
in my scene, this is what I was told by my mother. And secondly, my mother also told, because it's a very heartbroken thing for me. My mother said that लड़कियों के साथ तो होता नहीं है, तुम्हारे साथ कैसे हो गया? So I found the kind of distrust that whatever I was telling her, she was not even willing to listen to that. So in a kind, it came like I'm fabricating things. Now I
And
for sure
nobody's
know I was
believing
not.
you.
Yeah, nobody was believing me. So these depressions were not, I would say, inculcated in just a fraction of couple of months. It was years and years and years.
Pile ups and pile ups and pile ups and
Piling up.
small incidences,
I have
which are
Yes.
tears
not
in my eyes,
small.
and yeah.
And to be very honest, I'd like to highlight what happened last year also was in July. There was this intern who joined in May. And I hope that my manager or my office colleagues watches this, because nobody knows the truth till date. So this is an eye opener for them. So this guy came to the office in May and he started interacting with me. Now this guy started telling me that he's also of the same community, and he's also trying to get information about me as to how exactly I transform myself, because he never knew that I was a gender dysphoric kid before. So in the flow, I started giving all the information I could. But at times, he used to pass over or make some derogatory statements about me, about my body, okay, which I was not comfortable with. But what happened last year was that uh, me and my parents were not speaking. So that was again creating a ripple in my own mind that how can I stay in the same house and people are not speaking to me. So July 27, that guy took me for his birthday party in a place called Alibag, which is near Mumbai. And he convinced me a lot. I was not willing to go, but he convinced me a lot. And there he tried to mishandle me. Okay. Now, when I came back to the office, I remember in August, I complained to the HR about his misdoings. And that guy literally was sitting just in front of me, okay, couple of meters ahead. I was a victim. My manager, every day, he used to say hi to him. He will laugh and talk to him, being a perpetrator. But me as a victim, I was in the one corner. Believe me, Shrija, believe me, Shilpa, I could realize one thing, how a rapist girl would feel when a girl is raped.
Yeah, and there
What is
is
that
less compassion
turmoil?
in people's head, for, and trust me, till you think you're a victim, people victimize you more. And that's what I have seen. This is how the world works. Yeah.
So, there was a time when I used to look at my manager and whatever he's enjoying with that guy, and he should have at least abandoned that guy. He should have been with me as a moral support. But I knew that I have to fight my battle on my own. So after this incident, now coming back to that horrific day, 8th of November, so I was penning in down my societal note, and uh, I was questioning my brother as well. I questioned him that who are you to, are you the creator? Who are you to tell me this word eunuch? Have you met a eunuch? Have you even asked them as to why they are like this? If you do not know, you're not supposed to call me in these derogatory words. So after having that, I remember I consumed 4 pills. I was just sitting and sitting, and I was not getting sleep because maybe my mind was so infected by so many negative thoughts that even the medicines were not working. So
Hmm.
in that juncture, I consumed 21 sleeping pills, which is not normal. Okay.
Mm.
After that, I remember it was 10:30. I called one of my friend Vishal. At 7:30, I told him that 10:30 he called me and he said, "What are you doing?" I said that I'm going away forever. Then 11:30, I remember I went to the bathroom and I had that in mind that I will consume Harpic. So Harpic being a tasteless thing, so I thought that let's do one thing. I will consume Lysol. Okay. So I consumed 1 liter of Lysol. And when
Wow.
I started drinking like this, I could feel the pain and I could feel the burn in my throat, in this area, the stomach, and I gulped it at one go. And I remember I was tears coming out of my eyes. And then I went in front of the cross, which is in my room, and I asked Jesus Christ, "This is what you wanted to be? This is how my life is supposed to be? You could not support me." And I wrote on the wall, "I quit," which is still there in my room upstairs. "I quit this world," I wrote in bold letters. And then after that, again, nothing was happening. So I took a blade and I cut my wrist, left wrist. And then I could see blood oozing out. And then after that, I remember that I dozed out on the bed. And I don't know what happened in the entire night. I could only see myself slippering in my vomiting and my pee and my motion everywhere. And I was just getting stuck on the wall everywhere. I was hitting the wall. Next day, I remember I had that willingness to fight back. And I came downstairs and I slept in my mom's bedroom. However, I still came to know that my tenants, they were telling my mom, "Isko hospital leke jao," because my body was turning blue and green due to
Mm.
poison. So the entire Saturday, I was not taken to the hospital. So 9:30, I think I went to the hospital. And when I went to the hospital, even the doctors, I would highlight here, it was a good hospital though, but the OPD doctor, he is just beating me. Maybe he wanted me to be alive. But that was a time when in first aid was supposed to give in because I was not able to breathe. He's asking me, "What have you consumed?" That was not the right time to ask me those questions. And all I could remember is it was blacked out. And I just said, "I'm not able to breathe." Sunday, I found myself in a very abbreviated state in ICU with all kinds of pipes in my nose, in my mouth, IVs on both hands. And that was horrendous. It was very horrendous. I will never want to see myself again. And when I saw myself in a mirror on Sunday, I just told myself, this is my fight. I'm not going to give up so easily. So
That was a turning point, real
that,
turning point.
that was a turning point because I saw myself. And
What was the thought?
everybody,
What was the
the
thought,
thought
feeling,
was that, what have I
emotion?
done to myself? What have I done to myself? Okay, it's okay if my mother is not supporting. It's okay if my brother is not supporting. It's okay if I'm not supporting. Am I supporting myself? That is more important.
Powerful,
But the
beautiful.
question was, I answered myself, I did not support myself. Tears started oozing out from my eyes. I remember I was just crying for one person, that is myself. I went through rigorous journeys. I took so much of pain for those journey, for those transitions, for
Yes,
those
for your
surgeries.
identity. Yes, when you
How
you waited so long for this identity, that is
exactly?
so worthy of living it fully, right?
And how can I do this? So I took myself I told myself one thing. I have to make sure that I get out of bed as soon as possible because my oxygen level on the monitor was supposed to be 92%, but I could not even meet up 52%. That was the kind of poison I had consumed, and internal injuries were already there. But my horror did not stop there. All the people who came to see me, believe me, guys, I still believe we are all humans. There's no point in reading Bible, Quran, Gita if you don't have compassion, if you're not a humanitarian, basic humanitarian qualities. When a person is in ICU, you have to be at least loving towards the person. You have to pep the person up. But everybody came over as if I have done something very big thing and I have brought a disgrace to my family. They were coming up with, rifles and they will shoot me.
Yeah,
Everybody,
I want to add, when somebody's already miserable, if
yeah,
you can't pep them up, don't add to the misery. Somebody is not
exactly,
ending their life because they're very excited and it's a thrill. It's a
It's the
very,
exactly,
last
very
cry for
deep,
help. It's the last cry for help. It is not
absolutely,
that they want to kill themselves. But if they have come to this point, please look into yourselves rather than looking at that person. Because somewhere you failed as a society, you failed as parents, or you failed as something. But I would still tell people who are thinking of ending their lives because of depression, non acceptance, or because of being different, because of loss of identity, or whatever they are going through, that's not the solution to anything. As Olivia has,
exactly.
realized that looking at herself in that situation, she realized that she doesn't deserve to be there, with the pipes and with in such miserable conditions. She doesn't deserve it. Nobody deserves it, and not for anyone. But for yourself, you have a right to live. So don't take that step ever, friends.
Exactly. And that was a turning point, because on one hand, I could see my relatives coming in and calling me coward, coward, coward. This is what you had to do. Some people telling me your entire, whatever good things that you have done, that is washed away by just one incident, you know? That was one. On the other hand, I could see all the interns in the night shift or the evening shift. Everybody was so kind, so polite. First of all, nobody believed that I have taken this step. And since I was the youngest there were six units of ICU in that hospital, and I was the youngest of the lot, you know. And I remember one lady, I don't remember her name. She had a dazzling smile. She just came and she told one thing: you have a life on this earth for a purpose. Do not go without fulfilling that purpose. And that was a time when I realized that so many people are giving me so much love, no, and they don't know me even. People are coming and they're holding my hand and they're crying. Why? Just because they want to see me alive again.
Do you see, Olivia, one thing here so clearly? Even though you were expecting and the validation, the acceptance from your mom, you did not. If you would have just noticed that woman who was ready to sign up for you, this woman who gave you the courage to come back again for your purpose, are
Exactly.
these not the hands of God telling you that you got a
Exactly.
nurturing parent in God coming and seeking you, holding you when you really need it and want it. So why do we still look at the same window, for the light to shine in from? Why can't we just open ourselves to other, possibilities? So that is what love was coming to you from all sides, I think, but you kept looking at
Exactly.
only your mom's window. That was
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And that is the time I remember when Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was in the ICU, and Thursday, I was supposed to go to a private room. So evening 8:30, when I was going ahead, there was a chaos in the ICU. People were leaving other patients and they were coming to see me. I could see that. And I was feeling like a celebrity, to be very honest. And people were crying because I was going. All those mousies and mamas, who were the helpers, they were crying for me. Please do not take this step again. Please come and visit us. We would like to see you alive again.
I'm getting goosebumps, you know.
Yeah.
Even that
That's the
point of
love
time,
of
I was
God
getting goosebumps,
all around.
And when I was passing through that ICU corridor, and I used to look at each and every nurse, or not a single male nurse or a female nurse missed looking at me and smiling. Not a single person. I believe in every section when I was crossing, every cubicle, the nurses were coming and they were just holding my hand saying, all the best, all the best. So this was a
So
family,
much
a
love.
virtual family, which I got, I would say,
Yeah.
you know. And uh, believe me, there were few people who were still calling me after a couple of days of my, uh, you know, uh, coming out of the hospital. They were still in touch with me as to make out as to how I am.
What
So
is the
that was a
journey like now? How
Yeah.
is it now?
right now, if you ask me, I always have felt, and being a woman is the biggest blessing on this earth, to be very honest. It has so much of power, it has
Yeah.
so much of compassion and love that no individual on this earth can even be at par, to be very honest. The kind
Yes.
of sustainability that we have, the kind of resonance that we have, it's unmatchable. Nothing can match. It's beyond universe, I would say. And believe me, being a woman has inculcated in me a lot of virtues, lot of virtues. And I personally believe that this is what I wanted to be. This
And
is
you gifted yourself that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you pat your back for that? You really did
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
You did
And
it.
today, at least for us, for Shilpa and me, you will remove that I quit, and you'll say I'm
exactly.
alive, right? And put
Yes.
that on the wall.
So now I call myself as a warrior. I have to fight.
Yeah.
I'm a fighter.
Yes.
And have to motivate others as well to fight back. To be very
Yes.
honest, as
Yes.
Shilpa start of the call when she mentioned that there are people who have approached me. So I will not name that guy. He's a guy from Jaipur. Just 2 weeks back, he
Mm.
approached me through Messenger. Now he's a gender dysphoric kid from birth, but
Mm.
says the area he belongs to, that is a very orthodox and a conservative people, Marwaris. So he, without telling anyone, he started his hormonal therapy. He's a civil engineer, a very learned person, by the way. He's master in his own field. So he told me one thing that I just want guidance from you as to how did you propel further, how your transition happened beautifully. So I told him one thing, that first of all, you need to get rid of negative people, negative surrounding. That is very important. Your mind plays a very important role in you nurturing yourself post and pre-surgery. That is very important.
Yeah, I'm just going to give an example. Even when we grow a plant in our house, there are
Mm.
always weeds. If you want to keep the plant alive, you have to remove the weeds.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Even nature
So
tells us, that if you want to
Yeah.
exactly.
bloom
And
and you want to
Yes.
be healthy, please be in the right space. Be with the sunshine. So
exactly.
you're happy people.
And it's okay for seeking that. You have to for some time, be alone, because when we journey alone, it's okay, we'll find the, caravan which is for us. So
Yeah, you
when you
vibe
Exactly.
with your
journey
tribe.
alone,
Yeah,
yeah, you
you
find
do.
your
You
tribe.
do.
Yeah, because you need to learn to at least journey alone. So it's okay for a time being if you have to walk alone. It's okay.
It's
And believe
absolutely
me,
fine.
being a single traveler will give you much pleasure, to be very honest. See,
Yeah.
it is always better to hang around with people who are positive for you, with you, and will be with you, rather than being with people who will show that they love you, but truly they do not care for you in true sense. It's
Yeah.
always better, you know.
Yeah.
They were the school, the old school of thought says that always be entwined with the family, do things for the family, but do not do things at the cost of your own health.
Mm.
No, I don't agree with that. Because if you're not happy from inside, as I said, when I used to do things, I always used to look at my friends, relatives, my family, but I never used to give myself so much of importance.
Mm.
That is what I liked in myself. Because had this thing inculcated in me way back when I was in college days or my school days, my life would have been a simpler by now. I would
So I
have.
want to ask you,
Yeah.
Olivia,
Yeah.
this beautiful lady who told you that you have a life for a purpose.
Exactly.
Have you found your purpose?
Yeah.
Yes, I have found my purpose when I got a call from two beautiful, innocent girls from Tamil Nadu during the 30-day life challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking me in that broken Hindi, and they were saying, "हमको भी ऐसे कराना है, किधर कराएगा, हमको पता नहीं है." And I told them, speak to your parents first. They have the right to know whether they accept it or not. It's their lookout, but at least they have the right to know. If they do not accept it, then I told them there is a beautiful lady Kalki in Chennai, who's a beautiful what not I can say. She's an entrepreneur. She's a transformation coach as well, and she's also a beautiful trans woman, I would say, and she's working a lot towards the people in Tamil Nadu. So I guided them. You go to her, and she will guide you. So after 3 or 4 days, those girls calls me via messenger and they say that I'm so happy that you guided me. At least we had the guts to speak to our parents, and our parents at least want to go to a doctor. So
Wow.
at least the first step itself was a success. That at least they wanted to speak, but they don't know how to speak. Now talking about this Marwadi guy, who's from Jaipur. So he is so much into getting into this womanhood. He's lot in a hurry. I told him you need to take time for yourself. We are just 26 years of age. You have a lot of time left. First of all, you need to decide whether you want to be with your family or whether your family is gonna support you or not. If so, both the angles has to be studied. If at all your family is not supportive, please leave your family, walk into a place wherein you will be accepted first of all the way you are, because he was brutally beaten up when they found out you know uh, uh, the pills that hormonal pills that he was taking, and his body changed. He started becoming little plump, and that is how they came to know. And he was not a shy guy, but suddenly he started shying away from people, and he never used to be in his sportswear and all. That is when his parents and brothers found out that something is wrong with this guy. And one day when he was not there, when there was a search operation in his room, the pills were found, and he was brutally thrashed. He had one mole here on his cheek. So I told him, if that is the case, then you better as well. You need to get out of that place, because people will strangulate you one day by the thoughts, you know. So that is very important. So the purpose of my life has become very important. Even before the surgery, Dr. Kaushik told me that you have to be the ambassador of the community. You need to make sure that you empower people, if it is talks, if it is through guidance, if it is through some kind of any kind of guidance, you need to guide people. Because he was a general physician, by the way, but he got into transforming people into trans women, is because he also got through a lot of I would say bitter experiences through this community. So that is a time when he took a oath that I'm going to serve this community.
Wow.
Both husband and wife are working towards this, and kudos to him. I mean, he's doing a phenomenal job and a brilliant job. I mean, yeah, of course there's 0.1% crowd is always there who could not go through the surgeries as it was expected. but most of the surgeries that he has done, and I mean, you can look at me, the kind of surgery that he has come up with, and he was very true to his saying in 2017, and he told me, mark my words, after 2 years or 3 years, when you see yourself in a mirror, you will say, thank you, sir. Thank you, doctor. And today I'm thankful from the bottom of my heart. You know, उन लोग वो चीज देख सकते हैं जो मैं नहीं देख सकी कि 3 साल में मैं कैसे रहूंगी. That is the beauty of transition. You know, and every phase of transition that I was been through, it was a holistic, I would say. It was holistic. And spiritually as well, mentally as well, physically as well, I have transformed each and every day.
You know
Each and
what? I
every.
also felt that the people you wanted to believe did not believe in you, but there were this amazing set of people who actually believed in you and gave you that belief. And I come back to what Srisha said. I typed that you were looking for that small window, but there was this entire field behind you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
so
So
it's
now
so
I always,
interesting that sometimes we just
yeah,
look in one dimension space
Direction.
when there is so,
Yeah.
yeah, and when there is so much more available. It's just about us turning
turning around.
around,
Turning around. That's it.
yeah, and flipping instead of the window, look at the door and get out and embrace what is showing up for you. So I can see the, yeah, there are
Yeah, the
two
five of cups
polarities.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Because
what I mean, sorry, yeah.
I'm suddenly go ahead.
No,
Okay,
it's
I'm
so
very
beautiful actually. We are all
amazed that,
carried
now
away
you are
by the
becoming,
whole thing.
yeah, yeah, you're becoming the bridge. Though you were to do that few years ago, but suddenly this last year gave you this crazy wake up call where you said, uh, and there's also this quote, where it said that it's a lovely quote, and it's not verbatim, but I really like that. She always waited for the knight in shining armor until she realized she's her own hero. Let's say she's her own
Yeah.
hero. And that's what you make me
Yes.
feel like today, that you are your own hero. You are your knight in shining armor, and you are becoming that person to many more, from whether it is sensitization, whether it is awareness, whether it is coming out and speaking up. That's what this whole forum was about. Speak up. Your voice matters. End the
And end
stigma.
the stigma. End the
End the
stigma. There has
stigma.
to be acceptance. Yes.
You know.
And
And
of everything.
please
Because
continue.
Trust me. I whatever you're saying, it's like sometimes it could be hormonal, hereditary, or whatever, but in some cases, it is literally the depression given to you by the society, by the,
exactly, exactly,
the by being not accepted as you are. That's so primary. What is love if you can't give it to the person without judging that person?
exactly.
It cannot be with labels. If you're labeling a person before loving the person, then you might as well not have kids and have pets more. Like, I really feel that, then just put them any label or put them in any name and put them in any
Exactly.
box, and yeah, you can't do that. You have
No,
to accept.
and moreover, what happens is what I've seen in my life, that I was ready to accept myself, but I was timid and I was not open up. So you need to realize your own power.
True.
You need to tell people to shut up. I'm
Yeah.
not going to take this anymore. There is a situation wherein you need to tell your family, you need to tell your peers or colleagues, it's enough now. Enough is
It's
enough in
important
bold
to
letters
stand up for your value system.
for your values. Yes, you
It's
just
important.
cannot get carry forward and go with the flow that नहीं, हम फैमिली के खिलाफ नहीं जा सकते हैं, हमारी पेरेंट्स ने हमें बड़ा किया है, ये सारे लग्जरीज दिए हैं लाइफ में. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. Not at the cost of your own well-being. Because when I realized that what I did to myself last year, today I realized that it was very easy for me to avoid my things which were said by my mother. Today I realized that, not that time, because that was a
So if you
moment
had to
wherein.
give some learnings or some takeaways for
Hmm.
people who may be going through this journey, any kind of
Yeah.
despair, and you have to give them hope, which is personally working for you today, what are some of your key giveaways or learnings or tips that you would like to give people to work through this journey to bring that hope back in their life? What are some of the things you would like to tell them, ABC, or whatever pointers?
Well, first of all, as I mentioned, that if you are feeling disturbed, any kind of things we feel is disturbing you or annoying you from within, आपको पता है that from inside you're not, it's not good, it's not happening, सब अच्छा चल रहा है outer life में, but internally you're not going good. Please seek help.
Yeah.
Please seek a
So
help in the form of a psychiatrist.
super. So
Don't go to your,
Or
except
psychologist.
yes,
yeah.
don't go to your friend, don't go to your family, because उन लोग वही घिसी पिटी बातें बोलेंगे, तुम normal हो, ठीक हो जाएगा, it's okay. A
True.
psychiatrist can give you a true pattern as to where you're standing exactly. Where are you standing?
So what
How
I'm
you need
hearing
to,
is that don't be in denial of your feelings. Own up, accept you're
Oh, no.
feeling what you're feeling, and seek professional help.
exactly.
Great.
Because see,
What else? Thank you.
we are not superhumans. गलती हो सकते हैं हमारे से भी, no? So accept that as well.
True.
So second, I would say that if at all you are feeling very in a dilemma to go to a psychiatrist, start writing your feelings down. You have to vent it out. Don't keep it inside yourself. I know a lot of people do not open up. Okay, do not speak up. But believe me one thing, if you are not taking a stand for yourself, if you're not helping yourself, okay, nobody else will.
So find a venting out zone, and one of your
Absolutely.
personal tips is journal it if you can't talk, but get it
Exactly.
out for sure.
Get
Great.
it out for sure. Yeah.
Great.
And
Wow. Get it
and
out for sure.
to be very honest, concentrate on the small things which is not going well. What happens is we concentrate on big things in today's life, wherein what happens is they overlap the small things. Say for example, if I'm not able to remember a password, that is alarming. You need to be observant about it. Just don't
Right.
think that it's okay, and keep writing those things. It's very important for you to write those incidences, timing, how it happened, when it happened. It is very important. Just don't
Right.
let it go, because today's world is very different from what it was.
True.
Today a lot of people, I mean 100% of people are in stress due to our lifestyle, due to the work, or maybe something or the other. So it's very imperative for you to jot it down.
And become
And
aware.
yes,
Right.
and moreover, when you know that where you're standing, which section or which phase of depression you're standing at, believe me, you will have to go ahead and seek help. Okay, not only by the psychiatrist, by yourself as well. Start being positive for yourself. By positive, I don't mean just enchant yourself, be positive, but start getting yourself into charities. Like what I
Yeah.
used to do was,
So,
I started going to orphanages, I started going to old age homes, wherein I used to watch people, because there are a lot more people who are suffering from more than we are suffering, to be honest.
yeah,
Even if you
very
can
true.
enlighten them, you will feel very light from inside.
Hmm.
You will get a gist that you are helping someone to pep up or to cope up with their life. So
I'll
your
want
life,
to I'll want to summarize these 2 points because there are 2 points that have come in from Olivia right now. One
Hmm.
is when seek medical help, and in medical help, she said psychiatrist. I would like to also inform the people out there. There are 4 types of people who can help you. Counselors can be the first ones to go to. You can go to psychologists, you can go to psychotherapist, and then you can go to a psychiatrist. There are 4 different kind of people that you can approach. And another thing is that Olivia also said is do not stop the medicines until the doctor tells you to wean it off. So this
Yes.
is the medical front. Second thing that she's pointed out very beautifully: make yourself useful, because when you're useful, when you're helping others, you are actually helping your own self, in lifting yourself up bit by bit. So when you're out there, you know making yourself useful, everything comes in place for you. So yes, please continue, Oliver.
There is a sense of worthiness that starts coming in because now you are
Yes.
contributing to someone
Yes.
else's life, you know.
Right.
There's a lovely statement which one of my mentors
Yeah.
most often uses, and Shisha, you know about it. In helplessness, help.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's what she's saying. That I was feeling helpless, and I started helping other people. Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
yeah,
And to add that more psychologically, that does help when you find that somebody, your score of your suffering score is 10 and somebody's suffering score is 20, so that person is suffering more than you. And when you help them, you literally feel that you are helping yourself as well mentally, you
Mm.
know.
that's true.
And moreover, what happens is that you are diverting your mind, you're buying time for yourself, you know. See, just by thinking to yourself, ये ऐसा नहीं हो रहा, वो वैसा नहीं हो रहा है, कुछ अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है, it will not work for you. Believe me, it did not work for me. It did
Hmm.
not work for me.
Yeah.
But what worked for me was like from March when Snehal told me that we're coming with a 30-day life challenge. And when I started participating, when I started socializing with people, irrespective of who I was or how well I was not a very good speaker, but the experiences taught me how to speak well, you know. So at least accept the challenges of life. Because as
Mashallah,
I
you're a very good speaker.
thank you. Thank you. The credit goes to all of us for making me so
Yeah.
comfortable. And first of
Yeah.
all, as I
No,
would
it's
say,
glad.
accept yourself the way you are. Okay.
Right.
If you are dark, if you are, dusky, you are fair. If your tooth is out, if you're stammering, accept the way you are. It's okay.
You are just perfect
Yeah.
the way you are.
You're
Gorgeous,
perfect.
beautiful, amazing
Yes.
being.
Tell yourself that you are perfect, and that then only you will realize. Because what I have seen in myself is every day when I start my introspection in the morning and the evening, which I do every day, I every day when I get up, I like to see myself in the mirror and smile. I like to see myself and say that, oh my goodness, you're so gorgeous day by day. These things are very important, believe me, guys. If you start doing these things, one day, 2 day, it would sound dramatic, but ultimately 10th day you will start liking it. That is the whole
Hmm.
gist of things. And moreover, like 2nd of April, I was asked to resign from my office, so I resigned. So I became so positive within the span of this 6 months of this year that I realized that, okay, what I can do is, it is in my hands. Few things I will leave it up to the Almighty. वो बोलते हैं ना, किस्मत से पहले एंड समथिंग उसके, आई डोंट नो इन
बात
हिंदी,
किसी को मुकम्मल जहाँ नहीं.
मुकम्मल जहां नहीं मिलता है. तो यू नीड फॉर योर शेयर टू कम. आपका शेयर मिलेगा, इवन इफ इट्स लेट, यू विल गेट योर शेयर. गॉड इज वाचिंग यू. If God is, the Almighty is doing little late, it doesn't mean that He is not going to give you a share. Maybe He's preparing to give you something better than what you deserve.
Yes. Yes.
And very important, I'd like to highlight here is, guys, there are two kind of things which you can give to yourself. One which you need, and one which you deserve. I always concentrate in what I deserve. Believe me, this thought has inculcated a lot of positivity in me. I always tell myself I deserve better, and I do not want to compromise. And if I have to do anything to get onto that better, I will do it, and do it with a smile. Do not frown and do it.
Yeah. True.
Wow.
That
I
is very
agree with you.
important.
So you deserve it. You're worthy. Uh, and
Accept yourself the way
accept
you
yourself,
are.
smile, appreciate yourself. Yeah, this is all that is working for you these
It's
days.
working
And
for me.
no
It's
matter
working for
what, even though you're not occupied with work, you are still very positive because you've been telling yourself all of this every
She's,
day and
yes.
you're
So she,
working
what she's
towards
doing
yourself.
is, yeah, she's
Yeah,
she's harnessing all the positive emotions, and
me.
she's
Exactly.
looking at them, and that creates in a lot of hope. And I think that is the ripple effect that will come in, because
yeah,
Coming.
as we
It
say,
is
the state in which we are is what we are attracting. So we
exactly.
in the state of complaining, then we are attracting more of it in the outer world. And if we are in the state of gratitude and in the state of acceptance, good things must happen, good things will happen to us.
Will happen. Of course,
So
it will happen. Like
absolutely.
yes,
as I
yes,
said, like when those two girls from Chennai and this guy from Jaipur, when they started contacting me, now they were treating me as if I'm a kind of a celebrity. Have achieved so much in life in
You have.
every aspect.
No, you
you
have.
have, Olivia,
I
you have.
have. No, though I
Take
Take
a
a lead
have.
deep
the
breath and accept
fight.
it. You have.
No, I
Yes.
have, and I'm very, very fond of it. But I'm talking about in their perspective. They were thinking like that, but they don't know from where my journey began. What are
Yes.
the drawbacks that I
So,
faced? They did
so
not know
here
that.
we are sharing, Olivia, your story only for the all those people who want to get up and make the change happen. See, it will not
Exactly.
happen to you. You got to get up and make the change happen. You have to
Exactly.
go through the journey and you have to go through the fight, and unless and until you are in the mud and you are in the rain, and you're not gonna win your match. You can't.
Exactly.
So
I
go
will not be
play.
able to explain my
Just go
experience to
play.
people. Is
Yeah.
exactly that is what I'm saying. And more or less, one thing, last thing I would like to mention here is that uh, start fulfilling your dreams.
Masha.
Do not compromise on that.
Absolutely.
Even the smallest of bit. I've seen people that, due to the tedious work culture, they're not able to, if they are good at painting, if they are good at writing poetries, they do not focus on those things. That is very important, guys.
This is
आप
another point,
ऐसा कुछ
Shilpa.
yeah आप
Yeah,
ऐसा
Yeah.
कुछ करो which truly polishes your skills.
like the ikigai, your
Ikigai.
profession,
So
your
you need
passion.
to be in touch with your creative self. You need to
Yes,
that to come out. Otherwise, life happens. And as I said, as so beautifully this is put by Olivia and Shilpa here, that life happens every day to you. Death only happens one. So you got to
Exactly.
make life win every day. Let death win one day, and take
yeah,
you away. But
And
let
start
life win every single day.
true.
exactly and start seeing beauty in everything. That is going to
Yes.
keep you going always, always.
Focus
You
on
know,
what is
Yes.
working for you and what is amazing around you versus what is not working for you.
not working for
Absolutely.
you.
And when
Exactly.
there is something not working, take charge, be responsible, create a
Yes.
shift. Okay, you
Taking
either
Absolutely.
delete
accountability.
it or you shift it, but do
Yes,
something
Olivia.
about it, you know?
Yes.
Absolutely.
As I said, taking accountability is also one important aspect that,
True.
like last year when I tried ending my life, I took the accountability. I apologized
Yeah.
myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This
Beautiful.
accountability, I did this. I was
Mm.
not at that moment of truth wherein like everyone, I was not standing in front of mirror and, telling all those disgusted words to myself, like, you're a coward. This is what you had to do, this and that. I just looked at myself. I cried. I I hugged myself like this and I told, I'm sorry. This will not be given to you anymore.
I'm
Okay.
Brilliant. I
100%.
think taking accountability or responsibility, I would say it is so important to, own it up. Your life,
And
Exactly.
love
your
yourself
decision.
unconditionally. I loved what
Yes.
she said right
Yeah.
now, that I
Yeah.
hugged myself the way I would expect a parent or someone I love to do
Correct.
that. I loved myself. I hugged myself and I said, I'm never going to do this to you again. I am going to take care of you. It's so
Yes.
important to become your
Very
own hero, your own
Yes.
nurturer, your own lover, because that's love. It's all
That's
right.
love.
It's
exactly.
done. It's
And I
done.
think that is what has worked for me. So today, many people who are trying to, the guys or the girls who are trying to flock at me or be friends with me, they're just because it's a kind of the positivity that I've shown. And I'm sure that once I get on track and join an organization, again that ripple effect will be there again.
Yeah. And
Inshallah,
even
amen.
if
And
I,
may
yeah.
it be so. May it
Yeah.
be so.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
it
I'm
was
sure now you're strong enough to face
very
even if
strong.
something untoward comes by, you know how to handle it.
I think I can move even a hill with my, with this
Yeah.
finger.
That's
That's the
interesting.
strong. Wow, I
I
love
like
that.
that.
Yes.
That is the
So
power
keep
that
that
that I
confidence going, and let's end this stigma, people. Acceptance is the key. Please give it to your people. Please give it to the world around you. That's true religion. If you really want to be religious and spiritual, this is true religion. Love unconditionally. Accept people as they are. And please end the stigma. End the biases. End it all. The divide is within your mind, not out there. Let's accept
exactly.
everyone. Let's be a big universal family, a global family, especially now when the pandemic is literally killing so many, literally hovering on top of us. Please let your hearts open to love. We are only born for it, and we are only going to merge back in it. So let's open our hearts for it. Yeah. Shilpa, would
Exactly.
you like to, put in
No,
some?
I just loved what you said, and I'm just going to soak up in this. It's beautiful. I can't thank both of you enough to be a part of this. Seriously, this is
Especially Olivia. I think
Oliver. It's
today,
inspiring.
yeah,
Thank you
it's
so
it's
much.
really
Really,
inspiring.
thank you. And I just
So
pray all of us stay in this space
yes,
of love, give love and receive love, or look for the right set of
yes,
people to be there. Become the
yes,
person, become that person. So yeah,
absolutely.
I'm just going to give it to you, Shrija, right now because I'm quite overwhelmed and
Yeah, even I'm
touched.
very overwhelmed, especially when we're just not dealing with depression here. We are dealing with a very bigger, a point I think here, where a woman who was looking for her identity for so many years. People, aren't we responsible for them to be hiding in the closet? Can we not hold their hands and let them be what they want to be? Can we not give them the gift of their identity? Come on, people. It is their right. What would they do? They're made like this. And for all of us, be it woman, be it anybody, we have to stand up for everyone God created and embrace them, with love. And that's true humanity. That's godliness. Where are you looking for God, friends? There it is. Just look it inside you, and please accept people
And
as
be
they are.
kind.
Be
Kindness
kind.
is, it
Be
is, that's
kind.
it. Just be
And I think
kind.
that's the biggest pill for depression: kindness. Be kind to
Kindness.
people. Yes.
I think we
Okay.
can.
Thank you
I'm
so
sure
much,
you want
Olivia.
to
We are
say any
overwhelmed.
last
Trust me.
parting words. Yeah, I'm quite
Yes,
overwhelmed.
Olivia.
But before we
Yes.
just close it,
Well,
is
I
there
would
anything amazing
just
you
like
want
to
to tell
say to
everyone?
all those people who are feeling they're on the verge of suffering, any kind of suffering, whether it is depression or any kind of mental illness they're going through, I would just like to say that become your own parent, first of all, become your own friend. You need to treat yourself. Believe me, guys, it's not impossible. It's possible. You can become your own doctor. You don't need anyone. So get and shout at the universe by saying that you can and you will. And probably you will. You will see the
Yes.
difference. And believe
Yes.
me, there are a lot of people who will be able to help you. The thing is you need to get up and get the right approach towards them, and you will see the change. Okay, so I will always be available whenever you want me to contact. My Facebook is there. You can get in touch with me through Messenger, and I will be getting the guidance, proper guidance, what I can, what I have come across during my journey, and I'll share it with you. But
Olivia, what's your page name? Could you share it with all our audiences, like, the page that you have, Facebook page?
I don't
What's the name
remember.
of the page?
Yeah.
I think Olivia Ananya Zoe, that is
Okay.
how.
Okay, Olivia Ananya Zoe is the name, and you can just find her there, and you can contact her for for questions, any question that you have. We have some comments here. So Shoma says excellent. We have many people joining us and who are looking at it. So thanks, people, for watching it. Thanks for being with us, and the stigma will be back every fortnight with a new story, real story of people struggling and recovering from depression or anxiety or any such syndrome that kept them from living fully, and they came back and they reclaimed life, and that's what the story is all about. And all we want is end the stigma. That's it.
And
So,
create a large global
and
family.
yeah, let's
Exactly.
create a large global family.
Let's work
All
as
Love
a
right.
you,
team.
Olivia. Sending you a lot of love from my side and Shilpa's
So
side.
much. I'm
Yes.
overwhelmed.
Thank
And thank you so much for making me a part of this journey. Thank you.
Thank you for being there. Bye.
you.
Lots of
Bye.
love to everyone.
Same here.
Yes. Lots of love.
Bye.